Well, hello. So I've got over 200 miles on my e-bike now, and I switched from a mountain bike. Learned a few things. First, an e-bike is a bike. There are some people that say an e-bike's not a bike. Well, a 1-speed's a bike and a 10-speed's a bike. Chihuahua's a dog and a Great Dane's a dog. So I kind of look at it that way. But where I personally put e-bikes is at the high end of that spectrum. Like my mountain bike, which I think was 27 speed. The sprockets on that bike help you adjust for your terrain and the speed you want to go, and it multiplies your efforts. My e-bike has 8 geared speeds and 5 different settings for power assist. So that's 40, and then if you add 0, if you want to use 0 power assist, 48 options. So that's why I think you get up into your mountain bikes and you have a lot of gears, and then your e-bike just goes beyond that to, we'll call it 48 possible settings to work from. And it's really important on an e-bike to be managing your settings, especially the power assist. If you don't gear down or power down your power assist when you get to a stoplight, when you get going, the bike can take off on you. Like if you're at level 5 on my bike and you start to pedal, boom, off it goes. Because the motor is a power assist. If you do pedal, then it multiplies it based on where you have your power setting. Now mine does have a throttle, and that's kind of, I think, for the most part, a lazy way to go about it. Talked to a guy not long ago that bought an e-bike, and he's like, I'm not getting 20 miles out of a charge. And talking to him, it turned out he just uses the throttle. I would suggest maybe he just needs to have a moped or a motorcycle because he just wants to be a passenger. That throttle is useful, like here in the Ozarks where I live, getting to the top of a hill. Okay, sometimes I'll hit that throttle just to get over the hill, but it's a bit of a crutch. It is tempting sometimes. But number one thing, biggest thing I've learned, you've got to manage your power settings. It's not a nice to, it's a critical. What the power assist has done for me is it manages that balance between enjoyment and exercise. Because I moved here from Northern Illinois, relatively flat. And like I said, the Ozarks, nothing but hills. So if I'm going to really enjoy riding, I need to enjoy riding and not just the work of getting up a hill and the thrill of careening down the next hill. That helps me manage the amount of exercise I'm getting and makes it more fun. And frankly, I'm out 5 or 6 days a week. I'm riding further and longer. I feel like I get more exercise now than I was, frankly, since moving down here to the Ozarks, because I was getting to where I was riding once a week and even less because these hills can be daunting. In the neighborhood I live in, it's downhill every direction, which you know what that means. When you're coming home, it's uphill, no matter which way you're coming from. I spent a lot of time researching bikes to figure out what the best bike was for me, and I'll share with you the for me reasons. First is I didn't need a foldable bike, and I understand that's a big part of the market. I do feel like this bike has a little more look like a bike that happens to be an e-bike rather than some anyway of the foldable bikes look like electric bikes that happen to be bikes. I did go with fat tires. Now I know how the weather people feel when they're pointing at a green screen trying to say what the weather is in St. Louis or whatever. Okay, see, I've got fat tires. And I do ride on everything from 4-lane roads to concrete roads to gravel and dirt roads. So this is versatile enough that and somebody just started mowing their lawn. I really hope that's not interfering. Anyway, the fat tires are right for me because I drive on different terrains. And the town I live in does have some bike lanes, but the bike lanes are covered in rocks and gravel too. I did order it with fenders. It comes without fenders, but I don't really like water and gravel and rocks throwing up at me. The seat is off of my mountain bike. It's wider and more comfortable. I really like it. The seat that this came with was narrow and hard and just wasn't kind of my thing. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. There's an answer for you and an answer for me. The basket made this bike much more utilitarian. The bag is just my basic kit that I carry with me. It transferred over from my other bike. It has water, some tools, a few emergency supplies and things like that if I ever need them. So that's just really fundamental. I did quite a few things to make me more visible because it's a black and gray bike, easy to miss. It comes with a nice tail light, and I got an upgraded headlight so it's nice and bright. I added here we go again, the little side lights I got on Amazon a while back. Those also came off my other bike, again to make me a little bit more visible. And then I added 3M reflective tape. This is fun. 3M reflective tape to both fenders. So to me, it's a safety thing. Who knows if it helps, but here we go. That lawnmower is really annoying me. I hope it doesn't make me redo this whole video. Anyway, I ordered a MIPS bike helmet, which is a whole lot safer at the speeds that you're riding on an e-bike. For some reason, it's taking Burn forever and a day to ship it to me. But it also has a light on the back, again, making me a little bit more visible. Newsflash, I was at the Bass Pro Shop in Springfield, Missouri yesterday, the day after I filmed this video. And guess what they had in stock? MIPS helmet by Bell. Now, it's not the same brand I had on order, but it still meets my criteria. I think it's a great helmet. And if you're ever anywhere near Springfield, go to the Bass Pro Shop. It's the mother store, and it's got everything you could ever possibly imagine. And now, back to regular program. I do have two locks. What looks a little bit like a water bottle, there we go again, is actually a lock. And then I've got the chain lock here. Now, the front tires on this bike has a quick release, which means a bad guy could quickly release them. So I wrap around that, and then I use the other chain to wrap around whatever poster thing that I'm doing, because I'd really like to make sure I keep my bike. I'm riding further, actually further and further as I get more comfortable with the bike and the places that I can go with it. And I'm using it for errands, so I'm keeping the car in the garage. Maybe sometimes that's an excuse to go for a ride, but I'll go with that. If you're getting to where you're just not riding your bike a lot anymore, maybe think about an e-bike. It might be your age, your health level, or the terrain, and I maybe have a combination of those. If I still lived in Northern Illinois, I might still be riding the mountain bike, or I might have got this bike or one similar to it that's even better suited for the flat terrain there. One of the favorite things for me to do up there was to take the train downtown, ride along the lakeshore, which they have 20-some miles of walking and bike trails, and they're about as flat as the lake. So very easy peasy, and for me that was a really good mental health thing. I enjoyed it a lot. One of the few things I miss about Chicago, which not in the best of shape right now.